had a bit more trouble than I should have had. But in the end, it was still quite hard regardless. But this is actually kind of easy, I suppose. I wasn't 100% sure if my team was going to be able to handle getting through this, but they can, so that's brilliant. But obviously, we're having problems killing the guys on the turret. So with that in mind, I'm probably just going to skip past the turrets. I'd recommend you do the same as well, really, guys. Well, actually, I don't know. We're all aware War in Kryta is short. I mean, I've got quite a few episodes out of it, but that's only because I've been literally showing you everything. I've been taking my time with it. I've not been speeding it up much like I have been in the other Let's Plays. It is quite short content compared to the rest, so, you know, if you're the kind of person that actually has it in you to just take your time and enjoy it, then, you know, well, maybe even go for the keys as well if you want. This is one mission I know that a couple of my guildies actually ended up getting greens from. Don't forget, everything you kill in the War in Kryta has a chance of dropping a green item for you. So, you know, I don't know, but because if you're that motivated by rewards, you're probably just going to want to steam through the content anyway. It's up to you. I've never gone for the keys. I can't be bothered. They're just white mantle guys over there. There's no dialogue. If there was dialogue, I would definitely do it, but there is no dialogue. There's not much dialogue in these missions at all. This is like the War in Kryta is probably going to change a little bit now, because so far this Let's Play's just been me kind of wandering around and getting all the dialogue everywhere and just sort of zoning around constantly. Now it's going to change to a much more, it's going to become much more similar to what the other Let's Plays have been, in that we're going to get some kind of mission-ish stuff, and there's going to be less dialogue in these long hauls on our way through. So, you know, I don't really mind, though. It's good enough, because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't... Oh, we got some Savannah's Road. At the end of the day, we're all aware not many people even care about the dialogue or read the dialogue, so this is the actual content there. See, I love Guild Wars, don't get me wrong, but this is kind of the thing with me. I don't actually enjoy this. What I'm doing right now, I enjoy it to an extent, but only because really I've been playing it so long. At this point, and I said this a lot actually in Prophecies, and this was one of my main reasons for doing Prophecy solo, it just feels like you're wading through fudge. I don't know, the combat itself, it's so reliant on what the rest of your team's doing, in the, you know, most of it's making sure they've got good builds, that I don't really find it that... I think ArenaNet appreciates that as well, because whenever they do solo missions, whenever they add new stuff now, they tend to favour solo missions and stuff, because in solo missions they can actually make the gameplay a lot more interesting, because it's not I think that's the problem, it's all diluted down where you're relying so heavily on the other 8 people that you yourself, I mean, look at me, I'm just running around, I'm literally C-spacing and using my elite whenever, I don't know. So, I mean, this is why I enjoy the dialogue so much. This is why when I decided, hey, I'm gonna Let's Play Guild Wars, I knew it had to be story focused, because how can you and people have, you know, I'm not talking down, you know, people have done their other Let's Plays and they've been very, very good, but, you know, I tend to find that if it's literally just this running around, there's not that much else to talk about. Wait, is someone over? What do I see, an ally here? Oh, there's a villager. Do you have dialogue? I'm pretty sure the villagers don't have dialogue. Do you have dialogue for me? Oh, we should have known the White Mantle were not what they seem to be. Oh, do they really? Oh, or is that just similar dialogue to maybe a villager we found here back in the mission? Huh, that was not on Wiki. I would have thought that they would have added that in there. See, this is the other thing. Wiki's been very good, actually, I must say, for all this new content, but this is the thing, as we go forwards, and especially once we've completed the Hearts of the North and the Winds of Change, you'll probably find that the wiki's not going to help me so much with the new content. Actually, I've said this quite a few times in the comments recently, but I haven't said it actually in game that much. I do want you guys to know, once we're done with all this content, once we're done, like we're in the end now, we're at the Guild Wars Beyond, once we're done with this, what I will basically be doing is, since we've seen pretty much everything now, I'm just going to do, whenever ArenaNet do an update to the game, I'll probably do some kind of coverage of what that update is, even if it's not specific. I'm not sure I'll sort of do every time there's a new flux. Oh, look at the new flux. I'm not going to do stuff like that, but I will probably, every time there's a new update to even small things, like say how they added Embark Beach, and there was a fair bit of new dialogue there. You know, I was talking about the Maggies. Was I talking about the Maggies? I think that was actually in the Winter's Day content, but I was talking about the Maggies recently there. And, you know, when they added Embark Beach, you know, it's just an outpost. There wasn't that much story or lore there, but there were a lot of NPCs, and I haven't actually mentioned this, and I didn't when we went to Embark Beach, but there are a lot of NPCs there called, like, Maggies and stuff, or at least there's at least one, which kind of shows that ArenaNet are still considering considering that they're this weird cult of NPCs in the Guild Wars universe that are typically skill traders, but they're still kind of being added. So, you know, that kind of hints, hey, ArenaNet is still aware of the existence of these guys. Maybe something's going to be happening there. So, you know, stuff like that. Once we're done with all of the narrative content that's out at the moment, I'll definitely just keep coming back, and we'll keep an eye on Guild Wars, definitely, Guild Wars 1, just to see what happens. So here, I think we pulled the lever. Is this, or was this what we needed the key for? I think this is what we need the key for. Yeah, I think if you have the key, you can pull this lever, it opens the gate, and you can just literally walk straight in there, and then boom, you're done. You might actually see there he is. That's Willem the Demeaning there behind that wall. But obviously to get the keys, you've got to go all the way over there. So your alternative, so now is where I suppose you get your choice. Do you want to go that way, or do you want to try and fight this guy here, Cain the Cunning? I think there might be another boss or two around as well. Or do you want to fight this guy? And also, so like this guy here, he'll inflict spectral agony on us when he hits us with an ability. However, where I've got a soul twister using displacement, it pretty much just means he does absolutely naffle. I mean, you saw he hit me with it just now, but it didn't do very much, and he's not going to hit me with it again. Oh no, I say that, and then he just hit me with crossfire. Oh, there you go, but that one's unblockable if I am near any of their allies, which would mean if I kill these guys, he's not going to be able to hit me with crossfire anymore. So, yeah, oh shit, okay, I won't talk down to them anymore. They are quite strong. Keep me alive, keep me alive, keep me alive. Fucking hell, I can't get away. There we go, well, Kane's down. Yeah, so you can see, I think we get like 2 groups of White Mantle that we need to fight here. It's not too difficult. Again, and this is something actually a few people have been saying. My teams that I'm using recently have been making the game look a lot easier, and you know, I get a few comments every now and then of people killing a certain boss, like they'll fight Gox and they'll be like, oh holy shit, this is much harder than you made it look. So do be aware, this is where it gets harder, the War in Kryta. This is definitely where it gets harder. These missions, one thing I actually mentioned before the power cut, but I haven't mentioned yet in this episode, is what happened was, obviously they kept doing little updates for the War in Kryta, but those first ones, before this episode came out, all that stuff I've already shown you for the first 20 episodes, they took quite a while to come out. They were lots and lots of little ones that with a lot of space between them. However, these missions we're about to see here, these, I think there's 3 of them in a row before like the big final one. These kind of came out, and when they came out, the way ArenaNet decided, hey, we're going to make this last longer, is instead of making you find needles and haystacks, that's not good, I need to leave, I've just aggroed way too many enemies. Let's get back. Or at least, I don't know, because there's a couple of roaming groups nearby. So, come on, everyone get around here. Sorry, if what I just did doesn't make sense, make sure you look at my compass. You see you got some other groups around there, those groups around there. I never draw on the compass for the Let's Play. You'd think I'd do it more, wouldn't you? But no, never mind. But yeah, so basically, instead of what we've seen already with the bounties, they extended the content by making you find needles and haystacks, essentially by not giving you the quest mark. And now what I think they attempted to do was make it much harder. I'm not sure how much easier this is now, as I've already said, but do be aware that if you do, especially if you take this approach, because obviously it's going to be slightly harder, but way quicker. So, who else have we got? See, I never know. I always try and rush this. I know that this is my experience of this. Oh, we're in an Ether Seal. I see. Okay, so that's what you get for not playing a caster. Brilliant. So yeah, Ether Seals. You remember these? Blimey as well. These are pretty cool. So obviously, back in Prophecies, what I'm going to do here is we've got an Ether Seal back in Prophecies. If you've seen Prophecies, you'll remember these. What they do is drain your energy like mad, and they do damage to you as well. They're huge, like AOE buff areas. They're bigger than your compass range, and to knock them out, you need to destroy the seal in the middle. They're these things that were invented by the Mersat to attack people or defend strategic locations. If you remember one of the last missions in Prophecies, actually, if you remember that, there were 2 Ether Seals and a huge outside a huge front gate with more seals on it. All that, you know, with that huge stronghold on the Fire Island chain. The Door of Kamali, there were a few around there. You know, Ether Seals, this is what the Mersat use. And hey, check it out, in the War in Kryta, all of a sudden there's a Mersat around, and he brought some Ether Seals with him to defend himself. You know, this is the Temple of the Unseen. This is a really, really important place. We know that the White Mantle have lots of different temples. See, this is something I'm curious about as well. Is this kind of just a repurposed temple that was originally used, a place to worship the true gods for the humans back when Kryta was ruled by an actual monarchy that was just repurposed by the White Mantle? Or did they literally erect this as soon as they came into power? Because it looks quite old. I don't know whether that's a really good thing to speculate about, though, really, because obviously ArenaNet didn't create an entire new set of architecture just for, you know, newly fashioned white mantle stuff. But still, there are a lot of temples around, I guess is the point. There's loads of different temples around in, yeah, so there you go, you can see him, he hits me, and then Spectral Agony comes on, which is doing 100 damage a tick, and we're still out healing it just fine. Awesome. Well, no, there we go, I died. Oh yeah, that's actually a really good point. I think I only have, oh no, Elias does have it as well. Fucking hell, he's done a lot of damage. Yeah, so this is the problem with the other seals. Obviously, it drains all the energy of your heroes, so they can't heal you up. Which I think is a good thing, at least, that therefore I'm a warrior and I run on adrenaline, which is fine. So come on, Elias, out you go. Right, we'll hit the other seal. What was I saying? Yeah, there were a lot of temples around, because don't forget there was the Temple of Tolerance, I think, as well. Here in Kryta somewhere, and there's a fair few others. There was a temple actually on the Sanctum Cave, if you remember. In fact, the outpost description talks about it. It's like a library or something, doesn't it? Oh, an ancient monastery said to have been the first to teach the art of smiting prayers. I guess that's not White Mantle then, if it's an ancient monastery. But, you know, there's lots of sites like this that the White Mantle seem to have sort of taken up, and this is probably the most important one. This is the one that... Oh, shit, I didn't unflag my heroes. That means the other seal's going to kill me. This is the one that the White Mantle always came back to. Like, if you look at all of the cutscenes in Prophecies, a lot of them had Dorian here at this temple. You know, it was after you kill Hablion, you got a cutscene, and the cutscene was of Dorian here, sentencing you all to death, and then all of a sudden you had loads of White Mantle after you in the Maguma jungle, all that kind of stuff. It was always here back at the temple. After the bit with Glint, if you remember, where you find out that Ivini and Saedra, the last two remaining leaders of the Shining Blade, are about to be assassinated, again the cutscene comes back to here with Dorian here. This is like the main place. You don't find Confessor Isaiah here. Do remember that he exists. He is still around. You don't find him here, of course, this time, but you do find Willem the Demeaning. With quite an interesting door as well, actually. Now that I see it, I remember that. We're going to aggro these guys and try and kill them. Do you know what? I'm just going to cut this fight here, because these guys shouldn't be too dangerous. There we go, easy enough. These guys are down. There's another boss here, actually. Justiciar Kimley. I actually recognise her as a bounty, I think. Isn't she a bounty at some point? There you go, an actual White Mantle boss. And now over here, also, when you're fighting these guys, don't worry, you're not going to aggro these guys. The guys over here don't actually patrol anywhere. They're just literally stationed. So we've got a bow, we've got an armor, and we've got a cloak over there, and then the Messart himself. If you get the keys, you get to come in through this gate here. Oh, shock horror. So, you know, it's really, you know, ArenaNet could have designed it a little bit better. You basically got this one room here extra to fight through if you don't go through for the keys. If you do go for the keys, you got that huge walk over there to go for. So, you know, and I think it's actually a bit of a shame that they didn't design it well, because now everyone's just going to be encouraged to come over here, and they're going to miss all of this content. They're going to miss all these swamps that were populated with new enemies and all this kind of stuff over here. Just nobody's going to go there, which is a shame. I don't like recommending to players to do that kind of stuff, because they miss content. At the end of the day, that's what this Let's Play is here to show people, the content that they wouldn't usually see. But, you know, it's just, I can't recommend it. It's too much effort. Anyway, there we go. This Jade Armor here. What I probably could have done to be smart for this fight here is micromanage displacement to go up instantly, so that the Jade Bows would all be being blocked straight away. Oh, so we've just aggroed Willem here. You can see he's a Mesmer Messart boss up there, actually. So we'll go for him. He just cast Spectral Agony on me. Ah, shit. I need to get infused. Somebody remind me in the comments today, because I'm probably going to forget after filming the episode. I need to get infused. Come on, Willem. Down you go. Bosses themselves, this is it's the same as the rest of Guild Wars. You know, the Messart, they're treated in the story as being these big, powerful things, entities that everyone should be worried about. And, you know, a lot of the missions you go on are going to revolve around directly countering specific Messart, which is cool. And, that, you know, I can't ask for much more than that. But the actual bosses themselves, don't expect amazing fights along the lines of how the GOX or ROX or any of those fights went along. You know, they're just typical boss fights. They've just got a hell of a lot of health. But, you know, if you catch them on their own, then, you know, I think the most of what these that goes into these boss fights is just making sure you get them on their own and killing the patrols around them. Aside from that, then there's really not much else to say. Just keep hitting into them. She does spam Spectral Agony on me a lot. I don't like how the AI knows that I'm the uninfused one and is specifically casting on me. Bastards. There we go. So down she goes. Easy enough. She's actually quite tough. Blimey. So there you go, she's out, and you get a countdown that will automatically port you out of the mission. You can just zone if you want. Before we go, though, you got another one of these doors. Remember in Prophecies I talked about this? Actually, I remember trying to talk about it in one of the cutscenes here, with this kind of crazy door back there. I don't know what's behind the door. It's actual Masar architecture at that door. I find it very interesting that at the Temple of the Unseen, there's a mysterious big Masar door with a weird kind of glowing light behind it, and it never really reveals what's behind there. I think that this point here in the Warring Kryta would have been a perfect time to have let us, as the players, go behind the door. You know, like how they did in the dungeons, where you go through in the actual mission, like for instance Warband of Brothers, and you see a door at the end, and then actually in the dungeon you get to go further in. I think that would have been so cool if we could have gone behind that door, or if they'd at least revealed why there was a Masar door there with Masar architecture. Don't forget, we're really close to the Tarnished Coast here, and we have talked at length about how the Masar may have lived here. You know, it's not too far away, so maybe they found a Masar ruin with that Masar door there and then built the temple around that. That would be quite cool, wouldn't it, I suppose? But yeah, so there you go, that's the first mission. I am afraid a lot of the missions, well actually mind you, that's probably the most boring mission. There's a really cool mission coming up actually. I think it's the second one. I think it is the second one, so next episode could be quite good. We get to see more to do with Blim and Zin, and that storyline will continue. I should probably check that 100% before I say so, but that's a cool mission. That's my favourite ones. Yeah, but yeah, we've got like 3 coming up. Oh, and then the third one's not that great. But all of the missions will be taking place in areas like that, so we actually get to go back. I think that just for that alone, right, just for the fact that we get to go back to those explorable areas, that the missions once took place in is more than enough for these to be extremely fun and interesting to go back. Because for a lot of us, you know, we had no content and we were encouraged, oh, don't worry, just go back to all these places, do them all in hard mode, stuff like that. And now we actually get, in a sense, new areas, you know, especially for missions like this that people probably go through once and then never play again, you know. But hey Salma, she says, well done, you've dealt a serious blow to the White Mantle and their false gods. Our intelligence says that there are very few Masar left, so each one we're able to eliminate is a huge step towards victory against these oppressors. Once we've eradicated them all, those good Krytans with misplaced faith in the Masar will be freed and the healing can begin. So you get pretty damn good rewards as well, 2k for that, it's not too bad. So yeah, next time... Yeah, next time we've got the one with Zin and Blim. That's awesome. Okay, so cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, or videos. I'll probably end up splitting this. And I hope to see you next time. Once again, I hope you guys had a good Christmas, and it's good to be back. I'll see you later, guys.